Okay, so welcome everybody. Here we will just take an overview session of Git and GitHub. So you guys already are aware of the difference between Git and GitHub. At this point of time, we'll just talk about some basics of Git. Now this will be a little question wise. For example, we'll ask questions. What if I want to maintain repository or versions of the file in my own system? So such kind of questions will be asked and we will try to implement the solution. At this point, I will first go back and check the directory, and suppose that I create test folder and I go inside the test, right? So here I'm gonna start with git init, git initialize, and there you go. There is an initialized git repository in this folder. And of course we will go in the details later on, but just to show you that how do you know that the git has been initialized, just go to the main folder and it should show you .git file. To me, in case it is not showing you, you just go to view and click on hidden files and it should show you. Now what does this mean? That if we can version a software, if we can version a file, that means we can save its previous state also. And this .git is the main folder that is responsible for that. So let's start. Let's suppose we are working on local system and we want to make sure we have versions of previous file. So at this point, I'll just create a notepad. Okay, and if I try dir, there is a file. Always in Git, we always frequently check the status. What is the status of whatever folder I'm working in, whatever workspace or folder that I'm working in basically. So it says that there is a untracked files. That means whatever you make changes in that file is not being tracked. So you need to configure it. For that, they have already suggested there's something called git add. Now there are two ways. You can either put just dot, which is add everything, but if you're just writing new file or just one file, you can just specify the name of the file. In this section, we will just put dot and should be okay. Now, as I told you previously, we frequently check status and it should be this, changes to be committed. Now, if you want to save this state of your empty file or initialized file, go ahead and you can perform git checkout and so on. You can perform, git commit message. So I'm gonna just go git commit m plus file. And there you go. You can check git status. There is nothing on main branch and nothing to commit. All the files are committed. Okay. This is about saving the state of it. Okay. Now you perform git add, turn to stage environment, and then git commit to um, to the saving of the state basically. So we have performed our first commit. Now I'll go to this folder again. So what I'll do is basically I will try to populate this data now. So Sharik, PCD, etc. And you can keep a track of this. Now if I try to find out git status, it says that this file has been modified. We need to add this to some, let's say you need to commit the changes. So git commit changed, and then git add all the file changed. Okay, so now I have two versions of it. One is nothing, no content inside it, and one is some content inside it. And if I ever wanted to have a look how many versions do I have, I can check with something called git log. Now this is just overview and the basics of Git. Okay, this is just basics. Now usually whenever you work, there is a requirement of working in team. So I'll firstly go to github.com and sign into my own repository, which is test. I've already created that. Now this is my main repository. This is where I'm going to be uploading my file. So if you're working on version control on independently, so usually that's not the case. You work in a team, you have to collaborate in a team. But just in case, just to start with, if you're working with um, if you're working independently, so you basically clone the repository first.